Our guest today on the Sports Hour show is an AFL Draft prospect down Geelong way. He's playing currently school football at Geelong Grammar, but also plays at the Geelong Falcons representative competition for AFL football. He's a player to watch in this year's AFL Draft and a player to keep an eye on beyond the draft and hopefully into a big AFL career. So welcome, Tanner Bruhn, to the Sports Hour. How you going?
Hey, Hatsy. Yeah, good. Thanks, mate. Thanks for having me on the show.
Great to have you on, and thanks for coming on. And I wanted to ask you firstly, how's the year been? It's been a unique year, but tell us what it's been like for a player trying to get themselves into the big league.
Yeah, that's for sure, Hats. It's been a pretty challenging year with plenty of uncertainty along the way. But I've had plenty of distractions with schooling, helping, going through BCE at the moment, year 12. But a lot of uncertainty, like I said, just with not knowing sort of when footy was going to kick off. And we had a few dates there in the middle of the year and towards August there in the late part of the year. But unfortunately got knocked back due to coronavirus. But yeah, it's been a challenging year, but just trying to find ways to get myself through it.
And what have been some of those ways? Like, it's a very unique season. You're not playing any games. So how have you sort of treated it?
Yeah. I've sort of, at the start of the year, I probably wasn't 100% right to start the year off playing wise. I was probably a few weeks, probably not ready to go. So I sort of used that time to as an opportunity to get myself right and sort of catch up with the rest of the group and the rest of the league in terms of my body and my fitness. When the time was right and when footy did come back around, I was ready to go. But like I said, that probably hasn't eventuated this year. So I'm just trying to stay fit and healthy. And I've got plenty of distractions on my mind. Friends and family always help, and a bit of schooling at the moment as well.
And can you tell us a little bit about yourself as a footballer and also maybe a little bit about yourself as a person?
Yeah. As a footballer, like you mentioned before, I go to Geelong Grammar, so been playing grammar footy for a few years now. Play mostly in the midfield and tend to switch up half forward or can even go down off half back as well. But I'd like to say I'm a pretty smart footballer that makes good decisions and uses the ball by hand and foot. So that's probably my footy side of it. But as a person, just probably easygoing, a good teammate, a good friend, and probably really supportive.
And getting yourself in front of recruiters and in front of their eyes this year, obviously you had last season where you were playing games and all before that. But what's it been like this year? I know, you're touted to go in the top 10 and you're sort of found out, not this year, but in previous games where you've done well. How have you sort of, how's it been this year, that sort of link between you as a player and AFL and AFL clubs?
Yeah, not too bad. Probably last year was a bit easier for me. So much footy was happening, and even though I wasn't playing the whole year, I still had a lot of footy going on. Whether it was watching games or just constantly going through vision, or and then when I did get back, the meetings with recruiters and stuff were probably easy to do, as I was playing footy at the time. But this year, I suppose the interviews have probably been more important than they'll ever be, as there's no footy. So, they're just trying to, judge you on your character, I suppose, more so this year, as, they don't have much to go off. So I've just trying to be doing my interviews well and just put my best foot forward in all of my interviews. And I suppose, just do what I can do, as there's no footy really going on.
And back to a bit about yourself as a footballer. Is there a player you sort of try and resemble in the AFL and play like?
I'm a West Coast supporter, so watched Luke Shuey for numerous years now. So I'd say he's probably a player that comes to mind that I try and resemble my game off. Yeah.
Yeah, and have you spoken to any AFL players this year? You played with a few players last
Yeah,
year in school footy.
yeah,
One familiar name, Caleb Sarong, just recently
yeah,
won the Rising Star Award.
yeah,
So, yeah,
yeah, exactly.
who have been some of the players you've spoken to?
Yeah. It's probably been hard to keep in contact with a lot of the boys. Being away in the hubs and with such a difficult season, but yeah, I'm good mates with Lever, and I've kept in contact with him and been chatting to him quite a bit, and also Cooper Stevens. He was down at the Falcons with me last year and had his injury while I was going through mine, and we did a bit of rehab together. So yeah, I've kept in touch with him, and I'm pretty close with him. So I spoke to Dowie a bit, the Grammar boys a little bit. So yeah, just probably those boys I've more been familiar with. Yeah.
And did they tell you something that you didn't really expect about sort of their experiences in the AFL so far?
Um, or probably not really. It's probably everything you do expect. It's from what Caleb's told me, yeah, it's a pretty big jump up, and the standards definitely, in extreme levels. Yeah, nothing that I probably didn't expect, but yeah, I think they're all loving it at the moment. They're just sort of thriving in the environment up in the hubs, and with the season finishing now, yeah, they'll be looking back on a pretty weird first year, but yeah, I think they've all loved it.
You touched on your injuries there, and sort of speaking about that with Cooper Stevens. How did you sort of deal with your injuries when you had them,
Yeah,
and being off the field and not being able
yeah,
to play?
yeah. Yeah, injuries are a difficult one. Yeah, it was hard for me last year. Probably the first bit of adversity that I've been through with an injury, and it probably doesn't seem like a big thing in the scheme of things, but as a footballer, yeah, 6 month injury is pretty big. But yeah, I was just trying to control what I could control, and I knew the only thing I could do to help me get back on the track quicker was my rehab. So I just dove into my rehab, and tried to do it as best I could, and had some great people and staff around me, with the likes of the Falcons coaches and staff, and also a big country as well. And fortunate enough, but not sort of in a lucky way, but I had Coop Stevens around me, and also Dal as well, Jay Dalhouse. So I had some boys around me that, yeah, we're just pushing each other along, and definitely made the road to recovery, yeah, much quicker.
And can you tell us some of the clubs that have been interested in you, or can you tell us
Yeah.
maybe, what have in the interviews, have there been any interesting questions? What insight can you give us without getting yourself into trouble?
Yeah, that's it. I'll weasel my way through this one, Hats. But look, yeah, I'm not too sure about what I can say about clubs and what clubs are keen, because it's just hard at this point. With trade period coming up and whatnot, there hasn't been much footy this year, so I think a lot of the clubs are just trying to get their stuff sorted at the moment. But I've spoken to most clubs, and most of my interviews have gone pretty well. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see over the sort of the next period how it pans out. But so I've definitely had some weird questions. I think, yeah, Adelaide asked me how would I get Jai Caldwell out in cricket. So I didn't really know what to say. I just said maybe put one on his pads, maybe LB, but because I think he'd gone out LB a few times back when we were playing with him. But that was probably the weirdest question I got. Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
That would have been a bit of a surprise.
Yeah, very, very interesting. Not what you'd expect. No.
Yeah. And you touched on your cricket there. You played in the Vic under-17s country team a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
What was that like? Playing cricket and then making that decision to sort of go with footy. How did that all pan out for you?
Yeah. That was unreal. I loved my time away up in Mackay, I think we were, and Brisbane as well, up in Queensland. But I've always sort of juggled between footy and cricket, since a very young age, just switching over during the seasons, summer and winter, with both cricket and footy. So I was sort of fortunate enough in a way that, going out to grammar allowed me to just keep playing my cricket and keep enjoying it and having fun and, not make that decision of which way I'd go too early. So my time up in Mackay, up in Queensland, probably, made the decision a bit harder, but I've always loved footy and that was always the way I was going to go. But made some great memories up there and some great mates as well, and played against some future stars of cricket, so including yourself, mate. So it was very good fun.
I don't know about that, but can you tell us, sort of going back? I forgot to ask. I wanted to ask you what as a player, what are you like on the footy field, and what are some of your strengths and like, there's gaps in every footy club. What sort of gaps will you feel when you go to a footy club?
Probably as a player, I'd say I'm just really competitive. Player inside and around the footy. So you sort of got to be competitive and in and under as a midfield. So I'd say that's probably one of my biggest traits. Also probably my decision making. The way I sort of deliver the ball by hand and foot, and pretty smart with my decisions as well. And can also try and get on the end of a few and hit the scoreboard as well. But hopefully what I can bring to a club is just, like I said before, I've had a bit of exposure sort of all over the field. So a bit of versatility is something I may bring to a club, and depending on what they're needing, whether it's around the footy or up forward or even off half back, I think that's one of my strengths, and something that sort of may open up to a few clubs, hopefully.
Absolutely, and we're very hopeful for that. Can you tell us now, this has been playing on my mind, the physical aspect of the game and the skillful aspect of the game. What percentage do you focus on these two things, physical and skills of the game?
It's a tough one. Probably physical aspect of the game is, the work you do early. I suppose you've got to be half decent if you're playing footy skillful wise. So I think players are always sort of, you're talented and you always got sort of half decent skills. So working on your physical side of the game, will help you, deliver those skills probably more efficiently. So they sort of work hand in hand together. And for me, probably the last, 6 months, I've been working on my physical side of the game in terms of my body and just my composition and stuff. So as well as my skills, but just, having sort of that physical upside will help me hopefully with my skills as well.
You're a star footy player, but you're also good on the cricket field, Tanner. Can you tell us your best moment on both summer and winter sports?
My best moment it'd have to be. I don't think I was playing, but we were at St Kevin's, and this, I think we were chasing the outright for victory for the premiership, and this young left-hander from Grammar, happened to be the captain. Hit two balls on the highway. Do you remember who that was, Hats?
No, I actually don't, Tanner, but you bring up it,
For all the viewers out there, it was actually the man himself, Maxi Hatzoglou.
Jeez, Tanner.
He'd hit two sixes on the highway. So if he hasn't already told you, there it is. But probably the best moment. The best moment in my cricketing career was out at Grammar would probably have to be probably playing in the game that Lever made his 100 or 50, I reckon. I think I got maybe 60 or 70 that day. But
you batted very well as well.
Yeah, I think we drew with we didn't come away with the win. We drew with Melbourne Grammar, I think it was. Out of nowhere. I think we were destined to lose that, I reckon. We should have for sure, but Lever's innings was was just terrific, and pulled us out of the dirt that day for sure. That was my footy moment as well.
Yeah, footy. Yeah,
that was a footy moment. I reckon was also against Melbourne Grammar. I was playing year 10. I think that game we beat Melbourne Grammar up at Flack. Were you playing that day?
I can't remember now.
I think we won by about 20. It was one of our first wins of the season. We beat a big Melbourne school in Melbourne Grammar. We won by about 15 or so points. It was probably one of our best wins we've had. So that comes to mind, yeah, for me.
Oh, yep. No, I do remember it. That was that was 2 years ago. It wasn't last season.
2 years ago. No, when I was year 10, you were year 11.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
And yep, I kicked a goal that day. I won't lie.
You did. Yeah, you did.
that was probably one of my highlights.
Yeah,
now,
that's it.
Tell us about the biggest spray you've copped.
Biggest spray I've copped. It'd have to be from my dad, I think. My dad's coached me. My dad's coached me since under 9s up through till under 16s or whatever.
Jeez, this could get nasty.
yeah. Oh, for sure. And I think I was about under 12s or under 14s. And I'd done something silly. I think maybe given away 50, or he hates when you kick into the man of the mark. So I think I kicked it in the man of the mark, and runner came out, and I come off the ground and just screamed at me. Told me to get my boots off, and I was done for the day. So I sat there on the sidelines with my boots in my hand, and don't think I went back on.
Wow, that's brutal.
Not good.
Jeez, I'll tell you what though, it might have helped you from not kicking in the man of the mark after that time.
I don't think I've kicked in the man of the mark since. So
I'm not surprised by that. Now, now, Tanner, can you tell me what's your dream?
My dream, hopefully at the end of the year, it comes true. My dream is to just hopefully play AFL footy. I've dreamt of it since a little kid, and something that's goes through my mind daily. So that's my dream is to hopefully run out and play AFL footy one day.
Have you been watching a lot of AFL footy this year? Because it's on. You've had the 2 footy frenzies. Have you sort of kept an eye on it? And is there anything that sort of sparked you, or just caught your eye throughout the season?
Well, I suppose earlier in the season it was all sort of up in the air with the AFL and whatnot. But once we sort of got that footy festival, there was games every day. So. We weren't playing footy down here, so there was plenty of footy to be watched. And, especially in your draft year, you're always sort of watching it with a close eye. And I suppose the last sort of 5 or 6 rounds, I was, watching most footy games because it sort of determined where clubs, what picks clubs may have had, and where they finished in the ladder. And it's something I probably looked at most days, and just to sort of see, where clubs sat and what picks they might have had. So probably this year more than ever, I've had so much time to watch and look, and I've definitely sort of been having a good look at that. So
pretend you're 30 years old and you're watching this interview of us two right now. By the time you're 30, what would you be hoping that you would have achieved in an AFL career? You're still going at 30, but where would you want to be sitting at 30 years old, looking back at this interview? Yeah. What are you hoping?
Hopefully by 30, I've still got a few seasons left in me if I'm half decent. Hopefully by then I've sort of, I've had a good, I hope so. I've had an all right career. If I did get the opportunity, that is. So, I'd love to have a premiership. I suppose that's everyone's dream, and every club sort of strives to win premierships. So if that was to happen, that'd be a dream come true. And like you said, if I'm 30 and sitting back and I've got a few premierships, and I've enjoyed my time and got the best out of myself, I think I'll be pretty happy, Hats.
I'll tell you what, it'd be very funny to see this video back and you having a medal around your neck.
Yeah, I think we'd have a good laugh, Hats, over this. Yeah,
absolutely. Well, Tanner,
Yeah,
it's great to have you on the Sports Hour, and I really appreciate you coming on. And all the best for the next month and the future.
no worries. My pleasure, Hats. Thanks for having me, mate. Cheers.
And that was Tanner Bruhn, AFL Draft prospect, and a player to look out for in the future. That's certainly so. Stick around and tune in to Tanner and to see him go on and have a wonderful career in the AFL. So we thank him for coming on the Sports Hour.